RC Shack. So today I'm going to do one of a first, one of many, and that is I'm going to start documenting my builds. I do little snippets here and there and comedy photos with characters, and I put them on Facebook and my Insta and stuff like that, but I don't actually document them or show you my portfolios, and I document every little bit. So we're going to start doing that, whether it be an RTR out the box, whether it be a full kit, a semi-kit, a full custom job, a half build from someone else's creation into something else, whatever it may be, I'm going to start letting you guys see what I do and how I go about it. So at the minute, we're going to do it quite primitively, and whilst I'm talking to you guys, Zombie is going to overlay photos of what I'm talking about. Hopefully he's put a little funny caption with an emoji on my face looking like an idiot. I want to talk today about a Wraith I've built. Now, I picked up the axles and the running gear and stuff a couple of months ago now on another build, and it was all right. It wasn't set properly, and you know all the rest of it. You know, a lot of people they build stuff and to go around the garden, and I class myself as commercial, out putting a lot of miles on these rigs. So I've had them for a while, and I've tried them on different things, and I made a rock bouncer, and I used them and made a cheap rig and stuff like that, and just didn't really like them and didn't really like how the projects turned out. So finally thought, right, back to basics, let's actually build a proper sport cage Wraith with them. That is what I've done. And I have learned a lot on the way. I mean, like I say, I'm building full custom cages anyway and stuff like that, but actually just going back to basics and building it, it's been a lot of fun. And little tricks and tips I've done along the way, and the problems that I've encountered I'd like to share with you. And by all means, I'd love to hear the problems that you've encountered and share with me. You know, have you had the same problems or not? Some things are designed really poorly. I mean, first off, let's just start with axles. Now, there's a lot of controversy out there about axles and Chinese make axles and all this stuff, and I do agree with it to some sense, but an aluminium case is an aluminium case, and yes, they can pull the threads because it's a soft alley, but on a whole, an axle is an axle. Now, when people see this, they think it. Someone said to me, those axles are an Integy clad. Apparently, I'm a new age hobbyist, I've been told, that just bolt stuff together. I think that's hilarious. I was told that my Integy clad axles are nonsense. I don't own anything Integy anymore, and I do agree that the cheaper end of Integy is very cheap. So these are axial racing. Quite expensive. They're big. They are bulky. You know, they are a good trail rig axle in my eyes. I say the diffs are very big and square and bulky, but they've got an X on them. They're axial racing casings. They're about £115 odd a case. It's ridiculous for what they are, but you buy them once, you know, you never have to buy that casing again. Let's be honest. If you bend a tube or you do something to that, it's driver error. You're in the wrong, you know. And bearings and shafts, well, that's just normal day-to-day use. You change a wheel bearing on your car, you know, you change a ball joints, you know, on your real car. So why wouldn't you do it on something, you know, that we're using heavily? So I really enjoy these axles. They've actually got a little sump plug in the bottom. I only run petroleum jelly. I only run Vaseline in my rigs. I have done for, I don't know, 30 years. I used Vaseline in my rigs when growing up as a lad, didn't have any money, needed lubrication, tubs of Vaseline in the bathroom, you know. So petroleum jelly, and what I do is, very simply, I got these thermo syringes things. They're not sharp, there's a blunt end. I heat the Vaseline up in a little metal container on the cooker, heat it up to liquid, suck it in these, and then when I want to use it, I just put this in a hot water. I love these axles. They've got a sump plug in them, so you can undo the plug in the bottom of the axle, heat the Vaseline up, or any grease, whatever you want, you know, fire it in there, fill the whole tube and everything to the top. There is no ingress getting in that. Brilliant. A little tip. Anyway, so the axles are lovely and they're nice. So the first problem I had with them, and I don't get this, they put the steering rod. So you can run, people don't realise, this servo arm has got a double head front and back. You can run an arm, a link to each hub. So you're carrying the weight. But when you buy these upgrade kits on these, on anything, the servo arm, the link arm that does the steering from the servo to the hub, connects to the bar. So I don't know if you can see that on camera, but when I turn left and right, this bar move up and down depending on which way I was steering before the wheels move, because there was a pivot point on it and a ball end on a link. So I don't want that. So first encounter was we need to put an arm to the hub. Put an arm on to the hub. Okay, otherwise when you steer left and right, this arm flaps up and down. And Connor, Zombie, will be overlaying photos as we speak. The same as well, because this is 4-wheel steer. So, same again, this bar doesn't wobble up and down anymore. When I went left and right, it was doing that, and I just got links. Photos will be shown. So, that was the first problem with the axles, was the amount of slop and play in them. What I really like about them is the actual adjustment on the C-hub carrier for the clock adjustment is very nice, and the Harvey splice, as I call them, is what they are basically. They're not a machined Harvey, but they've got a Harvey splice on the end of the C-hub for settings, and they're very accurate. Actually, for the groove, the slit that is in the C-hub, normally they're only little, it makes no difference, you know, you can't get that equilibrium. These are very good. So hats off to Axle Racing. The actual adjustment and the C adjustment is very, very, very good. So that was my first thing with the axles. I love them. Links again, I mean, we all know using alley links, this is a problem. Slack, slop. The play in it is ridiculous. It is just literally just been built, so they're not in yet. If you have this problem, guys, which everyone will have, just get some little round donuts that go between the links, and it just takes that play up a little bit and just makes it a bit more, what's the word, I suppose, predictable and a bit more constricted. Just takes a slack up. But nevertheless, I love these links. They're a nice round slide bar. I've got them on other rigs, and I love these top links with this hook. They're a real nice high lift link. Really, really, really good. So, link wise, lovely. The base plates on a Wraith, as we know, are quite handy. They've got a top link bracket already set on them. And I quite like how they flow and run. There's no snag ups on them. They're quite a nice plate. They've got chamfered edges for sliding. They're very well done, and they're cheap. So plates all fine. This is all lovely. My God, is there some shocking, and I mean shocking, engineering work out there when it comes to cages. You are definitely getting what you pay for. This I will say. Let's have a quick look. This is a £55 cage for a Wraith. Now, it has been cut up, as you can see. It did have a roof on it, as you can see in the photos. And it did have a bigger front on it with a winch plate and a bumper, as you can see in the photos. But on the whole, you know, if you got it and you think, that's actually all right. Okay, there are some maybe bits to concern where a flex and, you know, but on the whole, you actually think, you know, it's all straight, squared and true to itself. You think, yeah, okay, you know, I'm getting what I paid for. What a load of nonsense. What a load of absolute nonsense these are. This will bend under the whim of a heavy wind whilst trying to be in a 6-foot hole. I kid you not. Unbelievably ridiculously made. You're definitely getting your money's worth not when you buy something like this. So be careful, guys. The things to look out for when getting these cages, and I'll show you 2 simple things to look out for. And if it doesn't have this, don't buy it. It's not worth it. It's made of cheese, and I'll show you now. This piece here is just a single hoop of thinner wire than anything else on the cage, with a little tab welded on it for your rear shocks. Okay, this is, I mean, I can bend that with my hand in. There we go, look, quick squeeze, that's that bent. What you need to be looking for, guys, is this. So these are £89, and it's not just the aluminium panels you're getting. If you can look in here where the suspension is, and there'll be a photograph up now as well, There's a double hoop in this here onto a stay. That is structural integrity at its best, pretty much, what you're going to get. Amazing. Absolutely brilliant. Also, the lugs are actually in the correct position for a 350 wheelbase, 355, whatever they are, for the Wraith, automatically. The 50 odd pound nonsense ones aren't. Little things like the way she bolts on, as you can see in the photos, where they bolt onto the base plate, is miles off. When I put it onto a normal Wraith, as you can see in the photos, this one is sat completely off with lines to the base plate. I mean, it's just all over the shop. It looks like a good cage. So be warned, guys. That is my main warning. If you're going to build a Wraith and spend a lot of money on axles and stuff, and really get something up together that's going to be a wicked trail rig and a monster, and you're going to go for cages, it's worth spending that extra money. Do your homework, look at them. So the loop is the first one. The second one is hard to see on this, but in the photos you can see I've got it before I cut it up. The way the front tabs are welded on, the structural integrity in the front is the same again. It just wants to be folded in half all the time. So my biggest downside to the whole build was the cage. I do like a Wraith platform to build on. I've got a couple of them, and I love the AR60 axle. They're brilliant for what I want. We shall see how it runs. I'm hoping it's gonna be better than any of my other Wraiths. I've set it up really nicely. I've changed the clocks on the back to make sure it pulls the bum up properly. Motor wise, I'm still with the Holmes hobby side of things, and I'm still not converted into brushless. I do like a brushed, strong, powerful motor on 4S. I just love it. Saying that, obviously I do run brushless. I've just got myself a 150 amp ESC Hobbywing one. It's a bit overkill, and I'm going to convert this to brushless, I think. I have got another build on as well. I'm going to be doing, well, I've already started, finished one, already starting another, as you do, people, as you know, you're probably the same. But nevertheless, the brushed motor in this on a 4S ESC, it's got all the wheel speed in the world I need. It's got amazing control for what it is and what you're paying for. I mean, the motors are pennies. But yeah, so I hope this has worked well. As I say, as my first one of adding photographs whilst talking and showing you is got together okay. And if it hasn't, it's the editor's fault, not mine. And if the camera's shaky, it's not my fault, it's my darling wife's. But nevertheless, I hope you've enjoyed it. The only other thing I've not said about is this paint. Now, I don't know if you can see it on camera, like the side panels. I'll put the photographs up. It's a two-tone paint, guys. You just spray your panel, your base colour, whatever it may be. They recommend a dark colour, black. And then you put these two tones on top. So the side is pink to yellow, and the top is purple, blue to green. They're cheap. I don't know if you've got a T&Gs, a G&Ts, a G&Ts round you guys, like a cheap, you know, a pound store, home bargain sort of thing. They're almost like a lacquer, but they are a paint. You can't spray it solidly. It needs to be on a coat. I'll put the photograph up and the name of actually what it is. Two-tone paint. I'm hoping the camera picks it up. The reason why I've done it is on camera when the trucks go past, I'm hoping it'll go from golds, yellows, into the pinks and purples, and I hope the roof will do the same, but it might be a complete waste of time and waste of money, and it only works to the naked eye. Anyway, guys, look, I'll wrap this up. Keep your eye out for a video coming very soon. Love you all. Thanks for all your support, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.